I'm sorry, but I enjoy every moment of my life.
Hey guys, welcome back to
Their big
SuperMarvelSpider-Man.
Ace family home that they're always flexing is being
Ace
foreclosed
family...
on.
They will soon no longer have their house, which is really the only visual we have that they're successful.
Was the
I think
Ace
they
family
bit off more than they could
family
chew when they started hiring all this
reality
high-end talent.
And now he's
YouTube?
about to lose everything.
And to make
Was it
matters
just
worse,
fake,
they are getting
or
foreclosed
is
on
it
their
just
$10
real?
million house. Everything they
Today,
do seems to turn into a
I'm
scam
gonna
or
find out
lawsuit.
this
We're at
video
about
today.
12 lawsuits right now. It looks like maybe his wife is going to leave him.
Austin McBroom is such a freaking scammer. I hope this guy goes to jail.
The Ace family only had so long before their golden facade of extravagance eventually came crumbling down. Taking a move right out of Dan Bilzerian's playbook, Austin McBroom and his wife Catherine displayed their decadent life, inclusive of mansions and fancy cars, to their 19 million subscribers on YouTube before being completely and utterly exposed.
At the time, I found it really odd that they had two loans on the property totaling nearly $10 million.
The Ace family's $10 million house with a $10 million mortgage on it is going into foreclosure. They're being sued for over $130 million for shady and failed business practices, all while their viewership on YouTube has declined from 200 million per month in late 2018 to only 10 million per month recently. If you were a religious person, you'd say that the Ace family are currently paying for their sins. They're steadily coming to terms with the fact that they cannot outrun the bad decisions from their own past, made at a time when everything was going swimmingly and failure seemed like an impossibility. However, despite previously sitting in a totally unshakable, bulletproof position, there was always controversy. The Ace family began their channel back in 2016, and when observing even their first video, we can see that the foundation of their channel was built on fake perfection. They wanted everyone to think that they were a picture-perfect family, consisting of former college basketball player Austin McBroom, his fitness model girlfriend Catherine Payers, and their 2-month-old baby Elle. This image of being a happy, high-status family with absolutely zero internal problems became increasingly paramount as time progressed. They'd wear matching clothes while out and about.
We're matching today.
Oh yeah, we were matching.
While displaying their perfect home together, and on the side, Austin would even purchase Catherine a new car for Valentine's Day.
I'll be surprising my queen and my princess with a new car. Yes, people, a new car. And this is not a prank.
The naive amongst their audience who believed their problem-free facade saw them as what you might call family goals, and as a result their channel grew insanely fast, blasting past 1 million subscribers less than a year after creating their channel, which was met with an over-the-top cringy cliche video celebrating the milestone.
Here goes, here goes, here we go.
However, now that they had a following, people started to notice and therefore call them out on the fake nature of their lives. It started somewhat subtly. For example, Catherine made a tweet stating, "I'm the most laid-back, chill, drama-free, overly calculated person you'll ever meet. If you don't like it, F off." If someone tries to convince you that their personality is this or that, it's probably best to assume the opposite. Because if they really were that thing, they wouldn't need to tell you. This is highlighted pretty well in that Catherine states she's a laid-back, drama-free person in a combative tweet that requests people to F off. In addition to this, she'd respond to fans stating, "Your whack ass is annoying, mind your own business. Your tweet of my pic is the most attention you've ever had, LOL," highlighting that maybe she's not the laid-back, genuine individual that she proclaims to be. Many would probably agree that in the social media world, the same rule applies. Those who look like they have the best lives, the best families, the best holidays, etc., etc., probably have some of the worst lives. Because hey, how good can your life be if all you're trying to do is make others envious of you? Everyone could sense that the Ace family's life was total BS. We all know on an unconscious level that this kind of life is complete and utter garbage. It's all fake. The happy, rich, problem-free life that you see on Instagram does not exist. It's a facade usually put up by miserable people looking to mask their own uninteresting personalities. But in the case of the Ace family, there was no rock-solid evidence there. They were excellent at covering their trail. However, after moving into an LA mansion over 1.5 years after starting YouTube,
Please. I've been trying to get a Lambo. I want to get a Lambo, but please, guys, help me. Please, guys, help me. Please, help me. Please. And I'm sorry for pausing.
they began to get exposed on the main screen. When introducing the property, they framed the whole scenario as if he and Catherine had purchased the home.
I've always wanted my own home, and I've never had one. Catherine's never had one. And the fact that we're able to have one together as a family is a blessing.
We've worked so hard for this, and this is something that we've always wanted. And to have a home like this to raise Elle and have a backyard and be able to obviously work from home is such a blessing.
This has been a dream of mine to have my own house tour. This is crazy.
In addition to this, Austin McBroom would make a post on Instagram stating, "If you were to ask me where I'd be at the age of 25, I definitely wouldn't have said I would be standing on the roof of my own house," implying that he and Catherine had purchased it. However, people became somewhat suspicious when, in a vlog, Catherine's brother mentioned that they should talk to the owner of the property after noticing a problem with the house.
Bro, I would call the owner and ask him about the history of the house.
Wanna be successful. I don't think I am. I don't think I will. I'm not gonna make it. Guys, being a YouTuber, it's just like I really want to get successful, but right now I think I'm gonna give. I don't want to give up. I'm not giving up. I think I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying because I hate people freaking smoking. It's so. I just want to be a big channel. You know what? I'm just gonna. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying.
Tell me about that jewelry.
Call about the history of this house.
Viewers would then figure out the address of the property and subsequently discover records stating that it had last sold in April 2016, almost 2.5 years before they had moved in. Additionally, they would find another Instagram post by a rental agent who stated that he had just leased this exquisite custom view estate in Woodland Hills, prompting responses such as, "So apparently the new house they bought is just a lease. They're paying $17,000 a month to live in this huge house when they don't even need it. For what? They are idiots. They are always preaching about being so down to earth and humble and this and that, but instead of just buying a nice home in LA, they have to spend $17,000 each month just to live in this freaking mansion in the Woodland Hills. Yeah, super down to earth." Though the Ace family wouldn't live in the house for very long. After only 10 months of living there, they would upload a video titled "Someone Broke Into Our House," stating that while out at Disneyland, they had been robbed.
We've been at Disney all day, and someone broke into our house. As you can see,
This would, however, turn out to be another event that many considered to be a fake stunt for views. Viewers found it to be a little suspicious that the robbers decided not to take all the electronics that had been left out in the open on the ground floor,
I'm so confused. They didn't take the wallet. They didn't take this stuff.
including vlogging cameras which were integral to their YouTube channel, instead going upstairs to look through the walk-in robes where the shoes and clothes were kept. In Pyrocynical's video on the topic, he noted that the Ace family had installed numerous cameras around the house,
We do have cameras. Yes,
Everywhere, guys.
Yes, people, don't try to do no funny stuff.
which were apparently completely useless as the robbers only had small flashlights.
We obviously have cameras in the house, but like I said, the house was completely dark and they had some little ass flashlights.
Suspicions were further raised when Austin would go to the effort of pointing out a random pair of footprints found in the front garden,
Oh, hold up.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's a big foot right there. Those are big feet.
as if
Oh
the whole
my
thing had
God,
been
it's
set up
so
and he was
hot
trying to solve
outside,
his own
guys.
crime. With
That is
suspicions
so
raised,
hot
viewers
in
would look into the
UK.
possibility that it had been faked, and would discover that one of the police officers in the video looked very similar to a fake hireable police officer from a company called Top Cop Shop LA. Someone would then pose as a financial advisor for Austin McBroom, emailing Top Cop Shop LA, requesting that they provide an invoice for the hire of fake police, at which point they would receive a receipt made out to Austin McBroom for the hire of 5 police cars and 6 fake police officers. Catherine then responded to the criticism by doing what all moronic influencers do when they're under fire, virtue signal by talking about the police. To attack those who risk their lives on a daily basis to protect our communities and our families, by suggesting that they would participate in a stage robbery amounts to slander. To suppose that the police officers that responded to our robbery call were paid to act in a vlog or a staged robbery is ridiculous. It doesn't only attack the integrity of our family, not that they had any integrity to begin with, it takes away from a relevant issue, which is the safety of our family and our home, as well as the integrity of our police department. Austin would respond by stating that the Top Cop Shop receipt had been faked.
People made up a receipt that we paid actor cops. They typed it out, made it up, and the fact that it was just typed up very professional, they thought it was real. And then they took one of the cops that looked like he was from a movie and put the two pictures
I
together
saw that, bro.
and said it's the same cop, but
I
it was
saw that
completely
too.
different.
4 days later, the Ace family would move to a new property and things seemed to go back to normal. However, the Ace family's housing problems were far from over. Only a few short months later, Austin explained that while filming a video with Faye's rug, he would notice 2 almost finished side-by-side houses close to where they lived, and for content they would go and film some videos inside them after getting permission from the builder.
Alright guys, so these are the 2 houses that are almost done being built. I think they're gonna be done in like 3 months and they're gonna be up for sale.
After going back to look at the property once again at a later date, Austin came up with a crazy idea.
And I was like, let me go and ask him just to see what he would say if I decided to just combine both of the houses.
They planned on purchasing both houses and combining them together to create one mega mansion, which they knew would fit perfectly with the Ace family's luxurious branding. The problem was that both homes had already been completed internally, meaning they'd have to gut the inside of the houses, knock out walls, connect the whole thing up, add a new driveway, etc, etc. So the project was going to cost substantially more than if they were to buy each house separately. Like, way more. When looking at a basic real estate map for sold properties surrounding the 2 houses they wanted to combine together, pretty much every single sale price is under 1.5 million. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say that each property was worth 3 million on their own, considering each house was brand new and on top of a hill with a view, which would total $6 million for the 2 houses. Well, after all was said and done, the Ace family paid $10,064,230 for the 2 houses as a combined finished product.
We are here at the McBroom residence, about to sign our lives away.
Our lives?
Not only had they paid a premium of approximately $4 million to have the houses combined, but they also paid $10 million for a property in an area where very few had sold for more than $2 million. However, just in case the purchase wasn't stupid enough already, it was then revealed that they had financed the entire $10 million from 2 different hard money lenders.
At the end of July 2019, the McBrooms took out a hard money loan of $8.85 million from Five Arch Funding Corp. and another $1 million loan from TMK Development LLC, who I'm assuming is also a hard money lender. Hard money loans are expensive loans used by house flippers that almost always have a 1-year payback term. They're considered expensive because the borrower typically pays multiple points at closing and an interest rate of 10 to 12% on an interest-only loan. The amount owed is about $9.5 million. At 12% interest, the loan is $95,000 per month interest only. Add on property taxes, which for that property are exactly $10,000 a month. Insurance and maintenance gives you a total monthly cost of well over $110,000 every single month.
Now, while $110,000 per month seems pretty damn expensive for you and me, we can assume that the McBrooms were making well over $1 million per month at this point. So to them, $110K per month with their income at the time seemed somewhat reasonable. The key word, however, is at the time. Social media stars like sports stars, as Cornelius outlined excellently in his video, have some of the most fragile careers imaginable, especially for those like the Ace family, where all they're really bringing to the table is look at how much money I have, or look at our amazing family, which people get bored of pretty damn quickly. As soon as the Ace family had announced that their house was finally finished, everything started to go downhill. After moving into their new $10 million mansion, it seemed as though they stopped paying for an unfinished $7,000 a month lease at their previous rental property, and as a result, they would be sued by their landlord for $65,000. This would accompany what would be a total of 12 different lawsuits shortly after moving into their extravagant house, each of which totaling various different amounts, some being as much as $100 million. This $100 million lawsuit came about after Austin hosted a boxing event by the name of Social Gloves. The concept was pretty simple. A bunch of different YouTubers would fight a bunch of different TikTokers, and then market it as YouTube versus TikTok boxing.
I will be fighting Austin McBall. Look, that's him right there.
The event would make money through pay-per-view, a method proven successful by the likes of Logan and Jake Paul. However, Austin McBroom of the Ace family set his expectations way too high. He estimated that the boxing match would earn a total of between $200 and $500 million. However, on the day of the anticipated event, it would sell only 136,000 pay-per-view subscriptions, which at between $50 and $90 each, totaled an absolute maximum of $12 million. For this reason, those who fought in the event failed to receive payment for their participation and began to file subsequent lawsuits, one after the other, against Austin McBroom.
None of the fighters have been paid. Nobody's been paid. Nobody knows what's going on. Apparently, they were planning on selling 500,000 subscriptions. They only sold 100,000. They've made nowhere near enough money.
A company by the name of LiveX Live, hired by McBroom to help promote and run the event, would state that the McBrooms and their entire approach to this event was built upon a a stack of lies, followed by the filing of the previously mentioned $100 million lawsuit for damaging their company's reputation with such a bad event. Austin McBroom's lawyers would state, "In light of the apparent underperformance of the event, our firm has been retained to represent McBroom in connection with either a workout of the claims of all its creditors, or if a workout is not feasible, a likely bankruptcy filing." To add another 2 cherries on top of the cake, Catherine was then sued for $30 million for dodgy business practices relating to her makeup line, all while the Ace family's YouTube channel has been declining in viewership extremely rapidly. In the 3 months between June 2020 and September 2020, they went from an average of 105 million views per month to an average of 35 million views per month, which has since dropped even further, with the Ace family being unable to crack even the 10 million view mark over the last 30 days. With all this in mind, it was barely a surprise to discover that their $10 million home was going into foreclosure for failure to pay the mortgage. When asked about the foreclosure, Catherine would state that it wasn't true.
Okay, Catherine, there's a lot of rumors that your house is getting foreclosed. What do you have to say about that?
It's not true.
It's not true?
No, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
While Austin would make a post on Instagram stating, "Stop capping on me and my family's name. Ain't nobody getting evicted, ain't nobody moving. Stop believing everything you see the haters say on the internet. If we were moving, we definitely would have informed the world and made a whole YouTube video about it. Have a good rest of your day." However, as stated by YouTuber Sloan, the Ace family could say whatever they wanted. Court documents confirmed that the property was in fact going into foreclosure.
So when Catherine is out about saying that, or, her home isn't foreclosed, when asked, this document is proof that yes, the home was foreclosed. It's now owned by the bank, and Catherine can lie all she wants, but the records don't lie.
A YouTuber by the name of Static John would even attend the foreclosure auction. However, the property failed to sell for the $9 million price tag and has since been purchased by another party for substantially less than the original asking price, according to Cody Ko.
I know the guy who bought it. Yeah, it was just weird coincidence. I was with him last night, and he was like, he said, "We bought a problematic house." And I was like, "What house?" And he's like, "I don't know, some YouTuber, he did some boxing thing." And I was like, "Austin McBroom?" And he was like, yeah, crazy. They got taken for a ride when they built it, spent way too much money on it, and now it's in this area that the next most expensive house is $2.5 million, so no one wants to buy this $10 million house.
Right.
So it's not worth anything close to that. So they picked it up for cheap from the loan company, and I guess they're gonna try and...
There's something that's just universally satisfying about seeing the Ace family's empire crumble. Maybe it was because we could sense that it was to some extent built on lies, and therefore it feels as though we've witnessed an example of karma to see it all come to a messy end. Austin and Catherine McBroom built their empire on sand, with debt, with lies, and with most important of all, ego. The Ace family's need to maintain a public image as a happy, problem-free family was the basis for all their success, but was simultaneously the reason for their catastrophic fall.
Anyways, guys, see you guys in the next one.
Traveling solo doesn't